Season 7, Episode 25 of the advanced series titled Gulpin It Down is probably the worst episode of Pokemon I can think of. It's usually a 50-50 if a filler could be considered a waste of time. I've grown to love the Pokemon filler episodes, but it should show some sort of character or Pokemon development, some sort of Pokemon personality, meet a Pokemon, something like. But this episode completely disregards your time. So much so that the story refuses to make sense. Episode starts off simple enough. A Gulpin's eating all their food, right? They're resting up at this city that apparently just go through regular Gulpin attacks. The Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny both act like this is normal as they go through this all the time. And they even have a resident scientist that's a Gulpin expert, which makes this an interesting waste of time when he catches the Gulpin in the end. Most of the episode is watching Horse the Gulpin eat up everything. And the only Pokemon we see try to fight the Gulpin is Officer Jenny's grass type Pokemon. Set aside, they make zero sense considering they have Gulpin attack all the time. You would think they'll use Pokemon effective against Gulpin, but whatever. Ash decides to help using Trico, so we got some monkey see, monkey do going on. The main plot of the episode is trying to get the professor's plan to work on the Gulpin, and he do have some cool plans, I'll give it up, but I guess he has them chase Pokeblock at first, as they're leading the Gulpin through the sewers, Team Rocket is following the Gulpin because they're really hungry, and this subplot does continue to the next episode. And they're actually a really good Team Rocket line where James says, "Just because we lie, cheat, and steal, or something like that, doesn't mean we deserve 3 meals a day." That's- you know, but it's funny because it's like, no, you don't deserve 3 meals a day. Y'all don't work a job. And you know the times where Team Rocket's thriving, the Pokemon leagues, but this is a different video, okay? But I have to bring them up in this review because this is the last time we see Team Rocket. We don't follow up on them again. They follow them into the trap and then they just disappear, and we never see them for the rest of the episode. This is in the middle of the episode. we, we keep following the Gulpin and we keep battling them and trying to get rid of the Gulpin, but Team Rocket just nowhere to be found. No post credit scene or anything. So eventually, the professor brings out this tank, and he's able to shoot the Gulpin into the tank and then shoot them out. Just out, like a missile, like he's using catapult turtle. Now, the way it looks to me how it works, and which makes sense, is that the giant tank works like a giant Pokeball, and it can suck up a certain amount of Gulpin, but it doesn't hold them like a Pokeball. It just takes that technology and then it shoots them out, right? But the professor says he's mimicking Gulpin's stockpile and spit up. Well, okay. Now, eventually, there's only one Gulpin left, and Ash decides to battle it with Trico. And the reason I made this review, they get sucked into the machine and at the same time, but instead of just getting spat out, they Gigantamax. I call it Gigantamax because eventually, as Trico got tired, it shrinks back to normal. The Gulpin, however, did not. So May had the brilliant idea to just catch it. And this is where I'll bring up my biggest problem with the episode. Why didn't May or Ash, for that fact, catch a Gulpin? And I'm not talking about this Gulpin at the end. There was hundreds of Gulpins throughout the whole episode. It would have been cool to have an arc where they both raised Gulpin, and May did call it cute early on in the episode, so there's some interest there, and it would have been cool to have a Gulpining contest. As Ash used Gulpin, it evolves to Swalot, and then at the end of their journeys, Ash could have left Swalot with May or something and be like, hey, they don't want to be separated. You can keep both of them or whatever. And so they won't be apart. Like they could have caught two lovebird Gulpins. There's an interesting thing we could have did here. But whatever. The professor decides to catch it. He uses a Pokeball. It doesn't work. So then Nurse Joy spawns in a heavy ball. It works. The episode was too lazy to introduce the heavy ball at any point in 22 minutes. This is the type of story people think Pokemon is. Just nonsensical mismatch, no battles, really. Repeated scenes. We got that same Nurse Joy scene of her calling out her grass types attacks twice. There's no real progression, even geographically. Like we stayed in one spot the whole time. We didn't like move forward. Like it's just an entire waste of time. And now I've wasted yours.